So welcome back to another video. This is Keep or Sell, Liverpool edition. I'm going to go through a few players and see whether we should keep or sell. I'm going to start off with Darwin Núñez. Do we keep or sell Darwin Núñez? I mean, he's had 3 years to show what he's made of, and he's not really shown what he's made of. We've seen what he's capable of doing, but he's not actually followed it through and put the numbers up. You know, he's missed some open chances, some absolute sitters, which would make him look very scary for opposition. And a lot of teams do fear Núñez coming onto the pitch, but only to an extent, because they just know he's probably not going to score. You know, maybe Brentford, I remember last season, he scored 2 goals after the 90th minute. I was excited, I was gassed. I was like, get in there, lad, you know. And we saw what kind of ruthless player he can be in that match, for example. Against Newcastle, I think the season before, they were booing him, saying he's just a Andy Carroll. And 2 minutes later, he scores an absolute screamer. Whether we keep or sell him, in my opinion, he's got to go. So yeah, Núñez, he's got to go. He's not really, he's not shown that he's the right quality, the right person for Liverpool to lead the front line. You know, Salah's having to carry the team, and with Wirtz coming, the thing is, with Wirtz coming in, it adds a different thought, because Wirtz will find those passes. With Maka, will also find those passes, but Wirtz creates that opportunity to cycle around Núñez, to give Núñez a bit of fluidity, you know. But at the same time, would you want to risk it for another season? My opinion, no. If teams are willing to pay 50, 60, 70 million for him, take the money. Honestly, take the money. I would have rather we got sold Núñez and got Liam Delap, you know. Personally, the striker I would like is Dusan Vlahovic. I think it's cold, and I think he doesn't suit the Juve system. He doesn't feel like he's fitted in. But at Fiorentina, he was scoring screamers. He was taking the ball off people. He was shooting like when he wanted to. When he got that finisher's instinct, he would do it. He would take it. Sometimes not score, but sometimes he wouldn't miss the chances that Núñez is missing. And Vlahovic isn't too expensive, you know. So I would say sell Núñez, and for me, replacement, bring in Dusan Vlahovic. He's still quite young. I think he's only 23, 24. You know, he's a strong lad. He's tall. You know, is closer to a Torres, in my opinion, than what Núñez was. You know, Núñez was closer to a Suarez, just erratic, but Suarez could find the back of the net. Núñez can't. And then we're going to move to Luis Diaz. Lucho. Lucho is, again, we've talked about Luis Diaz. I'm not going to go over it again. Quality, loads of skills, very low productivity at the end of all the skills. And I think if Barcelona or some teams in Saudi Arabia are willing to pay, I don't know, 50, 60 mil, 70 mil, let's bring that money in. Like, if we can get 60, 70 million from him, I'd be happy with it. I'd actually be happy with it. And then I'd say we bring in Anthony Gordon if Newcastle are willing to let him go. Gordon used to play for Liverpool. We released him. Everton snatched him up. He performed for Everton, and then Newcastle snatched him up. And I think he's more than happy to come to Liverpool. He's a Liverpool fan himself, you know. So it's almost like a match made in heaven. His quality is, in my opinion, better than Luis Diaz. I think it would be an upgrade. There's other players. Eberiche Eze would be a quality player to bring in, cheaper than what we would sell Diaz for. So would make some money in that whole situation as well. And Eze would shine at Liverpool, absolutely shine. It would be too dangerous. It would be unfair for teams. You know, Salah one side, Eze or Gordon, Maka and Szoboszlai and Wirtz and Vlahovic up top. Kirkus on this side. It'll be ridiculous. So Núñez sell, Diaz sell. Harvey Elliott, I enjoy watching Harvey Elliott play. I think his quality it's just a shame that he hasn't been used as much. He hasn't been allowed to shine as much. In my opinion, it's because we've got Mohamed Salah. You know, you can't really take Salah off. You can't really start him on the bench. Although if I was a manager, I would probably every now and then say, Salah, bro, just sit there for a minute. If it comes to half time and we really need you, I'll bring you on. If not, and we're performing, I'll just let you rest for today. You get 20 minutes to run, and the next match you definitely start or potentially play the full game. It just gives other players a chance, and I'll go on to the next player. It will give them a chance to just shine, to show what they're made of, with no pressure of thinking, oh, Salah's come off now, and he's come off because we're struggling to get a goal. He's not having the best of games. I need to come on and play better. That's a lot of pressure for a player to. Whereas if you just start and say, look, I know I'm going to get another chance to start, so I'm going to try every time to make the best of it. And if once I get onto a scoring streak, then hopefully I can shine more. So yeah, I think Harvey Elliott, does probably need to be released. We need to sell him. I think we can get probably 30-40 million for him. I know Liverpool have put a £50 million price tag on him, but I'm sure we'd actually be willing to go down to about 35 million for Harvey Elliott. Joe Gomez, I would keep. I think he's one of those. It's like a Milner, you know. Just keep him. He's the caretaker of the team. Bit like Wataru Endo. I wouldn't release Endo, but we might as well do both at the same time. Endo Gomez. Endo can pretty much play it right back if we needed him. He could play it left back if we needed him. He could play centre back if we needed him. He can play CDM if we needed him. He can play centre mid if we needed it. And same with Gomez. He can play in all those positions I've mentioned. You know, so it's one of those utility players, caretaker players that if we really needed you in that situation, come on and perform. And they always perform. They never let you down. And Gomez needs to get a goal. He can't leave Liverpool without scoring a goal. At the moment, he's the longest lasting member of this squad. I think just keep him. You know, he's a Liverpool legend. Keep him as a Liverpool legend. Don't let him go play at some other teams. You know, look at Roberto Firmino. I think if we hadn't sold Firmino, we would not be looking for a new striker, you know? Maybe we would, but it wouldn't be an urgent thing. In fact, Firmino and Verts, and Maka would be a ridiculous link-up, absolutely ridiculous link-up, and we're going to miss out on that. If Firmino wanted to come back, I'd 100% take him back. 100%. Same with Origi. We didn't really need to let him go, but I can understand Origi. So I'd keep Gomez, sell Nunes, sell Diaz, sell Harvey Elliott, but keep Joe Gomez. Chiesa, again, I was slightly impressed with him, but not fully. I would want to keep him as a potential replacement for Salah until we find someone that's long term. He hasn't really been given the chance, in my opinion. I think he's had 1 or 2, maybe 3 full matches. You know, that's not enough for someone to try to prove themselves. You know, give him 10 matches, you know, where he's averaging around 70 minutes a game and see how he performs. We gave Nunes 3 years. Why can't we give Chiesa more than 10 full matches? You know, it's just one of those ones. And I think Chiesa would perform. We all know how good he is. We all know what he's capable of. We know how fast he is. Just give him the chance. Give him the opportunity, you know. And then, yeah, who else? Jarrell Quansah, I probably would let him go, but we need to find a replacement for him as well. Especially if you was to release Gomez and Endo and release Quansah, you're just slimming the team down. We need some sort of backup. We need some sort of extra players, the extras, you know, the caretakers, those that can come in when we need to rest the other players. But come in and perform, not play like we did against Plymouth Argyle, you know, because we can't be getting knocked out of a competition by Plymouth Argyle, and we can't be getting beat by PSV, you know. What other players? Gakpo I'd keep, of course. Maka keep, Soboslai keep. Konate, I'd be happy to sell Konate if it brings in 80 million, 70 million. You know, I think we can get some good quality defenders, centre-backs, to go alongside Van Dijk, and then look for another centre-back to potentially be the successor for Virgil, which would be hard to do, but, you know, that's for another day. So, yeah, that's keep or sell for certain players. Nunes, sell. Diaz, sell. Elliott, sell. Gomez, keep. Chiesa, keep. And the rest of the squad, keep. Quansah, sell. Endo, keep. And then in terms of Robertson or Tsimikas, I'd keep Robertson, sell Tsimikas. Or actually, I probably wouldn't. I probably would sell Robertson if it was a choice between them two, because Tsimikas is younger, is a little bit experienced now. I know Robertson's more experienced, but you know, it would be a problem in the future where we're gonna have to say, right, Robertson's got to go now. We need to find another left back. Whereas if you've got Kirkes and Tsimikas, you got two fairly young, well, one very young and one fairly young left back. So it's not something you need to worry about unless, you know, one of them really isn't performing and the other one's injured. But then again, if you keep Robertson, you don't have to worry about that, and you just have to worry about it once Robertson gets to an age where you need to release him. So yeah. And my final thoughts, I did watch Trent Alexander-Arnold's press conference for Real Madrid. Man, you know, I wish him well. It's bittersweet. I think we could have got a good amount of money, and if we did, it'd probably be really, really, really scary what kind of players we'd actually be buying. And it's a shame that we didn't get to see what kind of players we would bring in with the money Trent could have got us. Watching him speak practically fluent Spanish, not perfect, but you know, it was flowing, you know, rolling off the tongue. His pronunciations of certain words or letters were pretty accurate, and it just makes me wonder how long how many hours he's put into learning it, which is good on him, you know, and it's good to show that the Spanish and the Real Madrid fans that, you know, he's committed. But it just makes me wonder whether he knew this move was going to happen like at the start of last season, for example, and just started getting the practice in, started getting the tutoring in. And if that's the case, then I wish he'd have just signed a 1-year contract and said to Madrid, look, you're going to have to pay at least 50-60 million. And say to Liverpool, look, this is what's happening. It could have just spoke out, you know, not kept it quiet and hush. But that's what I'm going to say on it. I do wish him well. I will be watching the Club World Cup. I'll see if I can live stream that, actually. That might be a good idea, because I'm trying to get more following, more people to join, subscribers to join the community, and just to grow this channel as well as the other channels. But yeah, make sure you leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment if you want to share your thoughts, if you agree or disagree with anything I've got to say. If you didn't like the video, also leave a comment so you can let us know what we can improve on. Other than that, I'll see you next time. Bye bye.